All right, Rich, we are back on the Andre Duke Show. Got Richie joining me tonight. How is everybody doing?
Doing great, Duke. Another Monday in the books. Got some football action this week. We got the combine, Duke.
Yep, combine. Just a lot of things out there. But first of all, before we get the show going, I know that we always try to keep everything lighthearted here, but with the unfortunate news, the passing of Rondell Moore, an Indiana kid, played at Purdue. Very unfortunate. And my advice out there, you can take it or leave it, but if you need help, go find some help because this is not the answer. Don't know a lot of what went on, a lot of what happened, but if you need help out there, go get some help. Sad news. Rondell Moore, 26 years old. So with that, got you, Rich. But with that being said, we're gonna jump into it, like Richie said from the top. We got the combine going on this week. That's going to be interesting, to say the least. I think that for the most part, we'll have all kinds of stuff going on with the combine. Going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of debates, things of that sort going on. So be interested to see the guys work out at the combine. Going to be fascinating. I think that the NFL combine, some people have their own feelings on it. Take it or leave it. Very, very interesting stuff. A lot of careers are made and broken. And for somebody that is going on the whole football journey, I don't think the combine's a be all end all, to say the least. So there's some of that. Also, Team USA wins gold. I think that is an amazing accomplishment. Some of the other stuff that had gone on with Team USA hockey, Johnny Gaudreau was honored. He was going to be a part of that team. He was unfortunately, him and his brother were hit on the side of the road by a drunk driver. I think it's very fascinating that and great that Team USA did that. They won the gold, I believe, for the first time in 42 years. I think that the Team USA stuff is outstanding. Pretty much class all the way through. They went, got better, did everything they needed to do to achieve the highest honor and beating Canada. Also, the vitriol that came from on Twitter from the SEC fans, they got to see, well, not necessarily SEC fans, but they got to see what American college football is like. A lot of the pinup aggression from certain fan bases were directed at Canada. I thought it was interesting, to say the least, that a lot of the stuff that got tweeted at Team Canada, but the United States, they go in, take care of business. Got that. I believe Rich is back. Let's add him to the stage. You back, Rich?
I'm back, Duke.
Heard
you talk about Team USA yesterday.
Yes, Team USA wins the gold. They got
what a game.
Oh, it was a heck of a game.
I was on the edge of my seat. They played a hell of a game, and I wonder if Crosby being out played a key factor.
No, I'm sure. Did you see some of the Twitter reaction that that Team Canada got. It was
Oh
very
yeah.
one of the tweets that I pulled was from Real John. Said they would never survive SEC title week or the CF. Hell, they're softer than Notre Dame Twitter.
I mean, they were getting torn apart yesterday on Twitter. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, the transfer portal. Another Twitter account said Canada is getting mid-season SEC Twitter directed at them from all fan bases. Truly incredible. So I thought that was fascinating. I think it's great for the country as a
Yeah.
whole. Somebody especially living in Ohio like yourself, even though you don't live in the Columbus area, but I thought it was a great tribute. They brought Johnny Gaudreau's kids out there. They brought,
That was a tearjerker. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I look at that and think, wow,
I
that
mean,
happened. That
talk
happened.
about Jack Hughes being a warrior on the ice.
Yes,
Two
yes,
teeth knocked out, and he goes and redeems himself. He gets that penalty towards the end of the third period. Gets that high stick penalty, and you know what? They live to fight another day in overtime, and he hits that game winner. Shoots that game winner.
yep, yep. It was truly classic. I think that goes down as one of the uh, one of the greatest. Is this bigger than Miracle on Ice? This run?
I see the Miracle on Ice. Those guys were all college kids going up against grown men. Here we have professionals playing.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that's the
A more,
Miracle on Ice is the number one, followed by this. I
yeah,
mean, it was our backs against the wall. We could not beat Canada for the last what four was it 16 years was the last time. We've always come up short. I mean, even in that Four Nations face off. I mean, last year when Team USA was playing Canada, that was
yeah,
down to the wire.
yeah. I think it's truly incredible. They go out there, they win the gold. I don't. I think as somebody that you know that lives in the country, I think that it's one of the greatest runs I've seen this year in sports. I'm sure they're probably going to win an ESPY or something of that esteem. I think it goes down as one of the all time Olympic feats. So I think we'll see how it all shakes out. Very very interesting stuff to say the least. But um, I guess we'll get into it. Ohio State, the last couple of weeks, not trying to dive into the mud too much on this, even though we're a sports show, try to keep it sports. But DJ Burns and the Rooster, I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions of him, but he's been down at the state capitol asking a lot of questions to people. And you had the professor attack a reporter. You had some of that going on. You had you have Leslie Wexner's deposition getting posted everywhere. So very interesting. I seen Jim Tressel got asked some questions. I don't know if he gave a great answer, to say the least. A lot of people acting like they don't know who. I don't think there's a bunch of owls in the room. So Ohio State athletics, I think you're in the crosshairs at the moment, and this Wexner stuff is not going away.
No, it's not going away for a while. Um, Unfortunately, it's another black eye on the university.
So
Um, yeah, it makes you wonder what they're going to do because they got the hospital named after him. They got somewhere in the stadium named after him too.
mm,
Um, what it kind of makes you think if they'll get rid of his name off there.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting endeavor. We'll keep following it, but DJ Burns putting a lot of content out there about it and asking a lot of questions. So we'll keep that in mind. But as of today, February 23rd on Monday, 3 days until the NFL Combine, 14 days until free agency, 34 days until league meetings, 59 days until the draft, and the schedule release 79 days away, 140 until training camp, 164 until preseason, and then 199 as of today until the NFL season opens. Rich, very, very strategically placed on the dates. The NFL, I think, is one of the best things. One of the best things they do is marketing, and they are going to dominate the news cycle the entire offseason.
You got it, Duke. I mean, they have a show dedicated for the schedule release, and everybody, all the quote unquote experts, you know, loss here, win here for the Browns, win loss here. Here's what their record is going to be. I mean, they just drive the marketing there and grab people's attention. I mean, I know I'm going to be watching the schedule release because there ain't one, there's not going to be anything on it. And two, I got to figure out which game I'm going to be going to down in Tampa coming
Yep.
this fall.
I got to figure out the whole Pittsburgh situation as well. Speaking of NFL stuff, Gunnar Rivers commits to NC State today. Philip Rivers' son. After I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see Philip Rivers in the college football game.
I wouldn't be either. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to North Carolina State.
We'll see. So Gunnar Rivers stays also or commits. Also, people of staying. Matt Patricia signs a 3-year contract with the Buckeyes to stay.
That's a big stay, Duke.
I think it went well. I think he needs a little bit more proof of concept before he can land an NFL job. Maybe Matt Patricia stays in college.
But what if he stays at Ohio State and Ryan Day bolts for the NFL in 3 years?
I don't know. Are we going to be able to have that conversation? I mean, because there's certain people out here you can't have a rational conversation about Ryan Day possibly wanting to go to the NFL. I mean, there's so many people who are rational.
I completely agree with you. But keep in mind, he was offensive coordinator with Chip Kelly at San Fran and in Philly.
Yeah, so I look at it as I would not be shocked if Day would decide to make that move to the NFL. He's young enough to do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's something there, but we'll have to keep monitoring the situation, see what happens. Nothing's ever set in stone. We'll have to check it out. But also, speaking of NCAA stuff, Joey Aguilar denied I think a 6th or 7th year of eligibility. Do you think that puts Tennessee over the barrel? Does this create a lot of heat on Josh Heupel?
Yeah, because he's a win now mode.
Here's my thing. When Nico left, that's purely what it is. There's no dancing around the situation, but Nico Iamaleava left, and it set your program back 2 to 3 years. Period. Yep. That's what it did. I think that with that being said, you got to replace him. And the portal quarterbacks were up for grabs. I think they thought they had Sam in the bag that went to LSU. Lane Kiffin hops on a plane to Knoxville from Baton Rouge and secures the commitment. So there's kind of that. That's how it shook out. So I don't think there's any way around it, but you're gonna have to deal with it as a Tennessee fan, and you're gonna have to see what they can and can't do this year. I think Joey Aguilar. Hey, good luck to you. You tried. You gave it the good old college try. Now you got to go to the NFL and see where you end up. But I don't think Joey Aguilar, for the most part, he's going to get a shot in the NFL. I would think he may not get drafted, but I think he'll at least get invited to a camp.
Yeah, he'll get invited. Yeah, and hopefully he can make the roster cut when they do the final cuts or make a practice squad.
So we'll see what happens with the Aguilar stuff. But speaking of Ohio State, Urban Meyer in the news from the Triple Option podcast. Urban Meyer thinks, I guess the statement he used that got everybody's attention, he called the NCAA powerless. I don't know where you go on this one, but I think it's interesting that coming from him, to say the least. I don't know what Urban is hoping to achieve with that statement. I don't think it's, I'm trying to get the exact quote here, Rich, because it's talking about the Trinidad Chambliss stuff in the article and blah, 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 blah. It says on the recent episode of the Triple Option podcast, former college football head coach, this is on SI.com, head coach Urban Meyer weighed in on the broader implications, calling the NCAA a powerless organization right now. Meyer argued the courts have repeatedly undercut the association's enforcement efforts and emphasized that the NCAA lacks subpoena power to compile evidence. The NCAA, to give them credit, every time they've set a penalty, they've tried to enforce something, Meyer said. They legit hold on. They go to court and then they lose, and then basically he's trying to communicate that he, in a roundabout way, thinks the NCAA should have subpoena power, which I don't know how you give governing bodies subpoena power.
I don't.
Here's
they're not a government entity. I don't think they can do that.
No, and state universities can tell them to go pound sand.
Yeah,
this is going to be very, very peeling of the curtain back. If you're doing something you don't want the NCAA to, you don't want them to know that you're doing, that's possibly breaking the rules. If everybody just shuts up, you don't have to worry about it. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that if you say nothing, they can't do anything to you. So I think that's something to be said out there, but I know some people don't like it, but it is what it is. And then but you know, we could talk in circles all day about the NCAA and nothing's going to change. I mean,
no.
I mean, look at the calendar. Look at the calendar and then look at where the national championship is played and when it's played. I think we should fix the calendar first before we get too up in arms about a governing body. Just in my
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, we've always been pounding the table with that, with moving the season up, having one transfer portal, period.
They got the one transfer portal, but I'm not so sure that that's going to stick.
And the other thing too is hiring these coaches during the playoff run.
Yep.
Teams get distracted. Teams aren't focused. They're getting all the background noise from, so and so. Jimmy Smith is interviewing for UConn or something, and Miami's on a run. They're trying to prepare for the national championship. all that focus is deriving from the team and what they're trying to accomplish right now versus something that's in the background noise people are consistently talking about.
Well, if you look at the playoff teams, Tulane lost their head coach. John Summerall goes to Florida. You
Mhm.
had Oregon lose both coordinators. You had JMU lost their head coach. Trying to think of who else. I don't think anybody from Miami
I don't think
departed.
anybody from Miami. Ohio State, Heartline, the obvious one.
Yeah, Heartline leaves.
I'm trying to think who
But
else was in the
I mean,
playoffs.
that's 4 out
But
of the 12. Lane Kiffin left before the playoffs,
yeah,
so there's 5. Which I think the Lane Kiffin thing was the whole linchpin into this. But it just it is what it is. I mean, you want to worry about subpoena power, but you don't want to fix the calendar. You don't want to fix any of the glaring issues, but we want to give the NCAA subpoena power for investigations. But also, I mean, you look at his tenure at Florida. The whole time he was there, 1 out of every 4 players he had what, 39 arrests. So
yeah,
did you really want the NCAA sniffing around your program? I don't think so, Urban, but whatever. You got your opinion and I got mine.
yeah, right,
I think
exactly.
I think I think that fixing the calendar and fixing some of the other issues before we talk about whether the NCAA can penalize people or not. Like I said, if nobody says anything, you have no evidence.
What's it? Yeah, yeah. Hush, hush.
Oh yeah. So going back to it, SEC numbers guy puts this out, and I think this list excludes Texas. It excludes Texas, Alabama, Georgia, but it's got wins since 2021. Tennessee leads the way. Oklahoma, LSU, A&M, South Carolina, Kentucky, Florida, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Auburn, Vanderbilt.
Wow.
In team wins since 2021. Pretty tough down there on the plains right now, I will say. Very interesting stat. Also, in other news, as we're getting to it, Tampa Bay Buccaneers news. The Florida Senate passes the Teddy Bridgewater Act.
Great. I'm happy for Teddy Bridgewater. What he was doing for those kids down in Florida, and you're going to penalize a coach trying to help his players out.
Oh yeah, it
You
was.
know what? Good. I'm glad that passed.
Mm-hmm. But the On3 posted this. The bill would allow middle and high school coaches to use up to $15,000 of their own funds to support student athletes with food, transportation, and recovery services. I don't think that that's unreasonable if a coach has the means to put money into his own program to ensure the safety of those kids. Because Teddy Bridgewater's at Miami North. I don't know if anybody out there has seen The Year of the Bull. It's an old movie. It followed one of the top players in the nation, and you see he lived in Liberty City, and I mean it was an absolute, looked like a war zone.
I
So
mean, why punish the players and the kids? Like you said, Duke, if the coach has the means to do it, I thought it was all about the kids.
yeah, until it's not about the kids.
Exactly.
So there's that. Also, since we're down in Florida, the Daytona 500 was last weekend, and Tyler Riddick won again this week at Atlanta, which, I mean, I think that's the first time in some odd years that you've had a driver sweep the first 2 races of the year. But the 23 racing team, which is Michael Jordan's and I believe Carl Edwards, or no, Denny Hamlin owned that race team. But the peak viewership was almost 10 million for a NASCAR race. So it seems like NASCAR is getting a little bit of a resurgence here with the fan base.
I mean, I didn't even know Michael Jordan had a team until I saw everything on SportsCenter from Daytona.
Right. So yeah,
I mean,
he's
that's how much I pay attention to NASCAR.
hey, NASCAR. I think if they keep making some changes, they can try to grow the fan base. But out of all the sporting events I've ever been to, I give NASCAR a 10 out of 10 as far as fan experience.
I heard it's great. I mean, I think my uncles and my grandpa, they would go to races. I mean, they were big into NASCAR. I mean, they would watch it every time we were over there. I never got into it. My dad wasn't into it, but they would have it on. They'd watch it.
Oh yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 if you ever go to a race in person. And remember we had that little chat last week about Utah and their private equity deal and how I told you that these universities are going to start squeezing fans for money. Well, this story comes out of
Yeah.
Oklahoma. And an Oklahoma fan online shared how much the football program is pricing out their season ticket holders. They've had season tickets since the 40s. So Jim Wise, this is posted by the Pattern Facts on Instagram, and he said, "My sister got a call from OU and was informed their seats are transitioning to box seats, and they could keep them for a $3,500 donation per ticket, plus the cost of the approximate $750 for the season tickets. That's about $22,000 a year. The family has had season tickets since the 1940s."
They're going to start phasing out pushing these or season ticket holders out, and you're going to have corporations start buying these up and selling them.
Yes, that
That's
is
what's going to happen.
that is
That's what's going to
exactly
happen.
that is exactly what's going to happen because they can afford it. They can give it to clients. They can do all kinds of
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Also, some other news.
Which I think is wrong in my opinion. You're gonna
Oh,
screw over season ticket holders who've had it, what, 80 years? Like, come on.
yeah, right.
But hey, Duke, it's all about the bottom line now.
It's all about the money. But my thing is that at the same instance, like I've said, you cannot talk about financial budgets and things of that sort. And then whenever they go to move to premium seating, you don't have it. And also, in other news, if you look at, you want to talk about these athletic departments crying wolf at certain instances when they have, this sport's losing money, that sport's losing money. Go look at the sports that they only offer premium seating to and tell me what you find, because that would explain a lot. So I'll just
True.
I will just leave it at that. But Dusty May in the news, College Sports Only posted this. If Michigan wins the national title, we need to talk about Dusty May the same way we talk about Kirk Cignetti. Took FAU to a Final Four and then went to the Sweet 16 in the first year after the Juwan Howard mess. This year, they were number one in the country. Don't think they'll be number one for long since they lost. But is that a fair assessment? Dusty May, Michigan basketball should be talked about the same way?
Yeah.
Because it's got them side by side. Indiana football, Michigan basketball, Cignetti 11-2. Lost in the first round of the college football playoff. Dusty May, first year, 27-10, lost in the Sweet 16. This year, Cignetti 16-0 national champion. Dusty May 25-2 thus far. I think that's fair.
It's a good comparison. It's somewhat apples to apples in terms of the production as a coach and what he's done to turn the program around. I mean, Michigan basketball has been good for a while, but that first year head coach going to Sweet 16, and now you lost to Duke over the weekend, but you're still playing for a number one seed for the tourney. I mean, that's a testament to how well he's done at Michigan the last 2 years. just like Sig did has done at Indiana.
And especially turning the program around after
After
I
the
don't know.
mishap with, yeah.
I mean, Signetti took over from Tom Allen. I try not to pile on Tom Allen too much,
Yeah.
but I don't think there was a ton of financial investment there, just in my opinion. But I think Tom Allen's at Clemson, and I think Tom's probably a little bit happier now, but we'll see. Also, moving on. This was posted by SEC Unfiltered. Trent Noah's comment on another player's recent Instagram garnered a ton of attention when it surfaced, and his quote was, "You win some, you lose some, as long as the outcome is income." Trent Noah, Kentucky basketball. Mark Pope's got a problem.
Yeah.
He's got a problem.
Eesh, not good. Not good at all, Duke.
That's not gonna cut it, in my opinion. But I guess we'll see. Also, another tidbit by the SEC numbers guy. He puts this graphic out. SEC coaches with 2+ wins in the college football playoff. Kalen DeBoer, Pete Golding, Steve Sarkisian, Kirby Smart. No Lane Kiffin. Lane's got to get on that list.
He's got to get on there, man. I mean, it's the pressure has been mounting since they announced him.
Yeah,
and it won't be Happy Valley for long if he doesn't produce.
Right. So speaking of that,
I mean, but where do you turn to next if Lane doesn't work out at LSU? I mean, what do you? I mean, you tried Brian Kelly. He didn't do shit for you. The Lane train. What a media disaster that is, if it happens.
Do you know the crazy thing is with the Lane train? This is how out of touch I think some people are when it comes to reality. I think in Lane Kiffin's mind, he still does not understand why people are mad at him. I don't think he gets. I don't think he comprehends on why people are pissed at him.
That wouldn't shock me by any bit.
Because you got to look.
Because it's all about him. It's all about him and me. You know, he says it's all about the players, but we all know this. The whole circus train with this past season with him. Lane every single day. Lane Kiffin.
Okay. I know this is going to stir up some criticism, but can you ever remember a coach that was bigger than the program, excluding Nick Saban in Alabama and Bear Bryant? Urban wasn't bigger than Florida.
No.
But this is going to piss some Florida people off, but I don't care. Florida is 2 coaches.
2.
It's 2. It's Steve Spurrier. It's Urban Meyer. That's it. John Summerall. I really like John Summerall. I think he should do a hell of a job there, but for lack of a better term, it's 2 coaches. Alabama, they had the Gene Stallings year, but Jeffrey Wright pointed this out the other day on the radio when he was talking about Alabama. I think all the way back from Bryant, every coach except Mike Price has won 10 games at Alabama at least once. So you can't say that at Auburn. You can't say that at Mississippi State. You can't say that at Tennessee. Hell, you can't even say that at Ole Miss. But here's another fun fact when it comes to the Tigers. LSU's home opponents, their last wins there. I think this excludes Oklahoma and Texas because of how new they are to the conference. Texas A&M, their last win at Death Valley, 2025, obviously this year. Alabama, 2024, Tennessee, 2022. 2021 for Arkansas, 2021 for Auburn, 2020 for Mississippi State. The Gators haven't won in Death Valley since 2016. And just because of how the conference rotation it is, and Texas is on this list. By the way, I made a mistake. 2008 for the Bulldogs. 2008 for Ole Miss. That's probably Houston Nutt and who was the coach? Mark Richt.
Yeah,
Mark Richt. 98 for Kentucky. 94 for South Carolina. For Texas, 1952. Oklahoma has never won there. Missouri has never won there in 1951 for Vanderbilt. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So LSU's good at home because I pulled this stat to go with that. Since 2000, LSU in night games at home, there's no harder place to win than Death Valley. SEC numbers guy put this out there. 117-16 in 26 years. They've lost 16 games at home at night.
It's loud down there. I mean, it's they call it Death Valley for a reason. I remember playing the NCAA games, and they would just spit out little factoids of like stadiums and whatever. I remember one little factoid had the crowd noise registered so high at the LSU geology department, it measured like a 7.7 earthquake on the Richter scale. Just from the crowd noise. Just from the crowd noise.
Oh, yeah. Very, very interesting stuff, to say the least, that I can't believe that record would be right. 117-16 in night games at home since 2000. That's a hell of a run.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of those losses, probably a couple under Les Miles, a couple under Orgeron, and probably a couple under Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Speaking of stadiums, Missouri in the crosshairs. Missouri football is looking to sell off the rights to Memorial Stadium despite honoring Mizzou students that died in World War I. So, don't know how that's going to shake out. I'm sure there's probably some pissed off Missouri people when it comes to that.
Duke, do you foresee, like I was just talking about when we were just talking about the tickets at Oklahoma, big corporations coming in and buying those seats up? Do you foresee big college stadiums, big time programs being bought by big corporations?
Oh, I think they're going to try.
Alltel Stadium at LSU, just for example, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's coming.
Under Armour Field at Maryland.
Yep, that's coming. Just like the NFL stadiums. That's why Heinz Field is Acusure Stadium. Or well, it's not Heinz anymore. It's
it's not. No, Acusure. When did that change? Because I didn't know it changed until recent.
2 years ago it changed.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, it turned into the Steelers wanted more money for their naming rights, and I believe Acusure is a architect firm out of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Now you would think they would get somebody
local. That's
Hey,
the way the
money,
cookie.
money walks, BS talks money, or whatever how that saying goes.
Mm-hmm. Money talks, BS walks.
Yep, money talk. Yep, there you go.
So that's kind of how that is. Also, I don't know if we went over the Signetti contract finalization. 13.2 million makes him the highest paid coach in all of college football. He makes $200K more than Kirby, makes more than Lane, makes $1 million more than Day, more than Dabo, Dan, Lincoln, Mike Elko, Deion Sanders, Steve Sarkisian.
Put the trophy up now, or not put the trophy. Put the statue in there now.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, that's inevitable.
Yeah, I think that's coming sooner rather than later. They may wait until he retires, but it's we'll see how it shakes out.
And another thing, Duke, Jeff Monken suggests moving the Army Navy game to Thanksgiving weekend to help with the college football schedule.
Here's my thing. I think you can keep the Army Navy game at 3:00 and have a standalone date, but because the NFL dominates Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, Thursday. You got the Black Friday games.
Yep. So you'd have to play it on Saturday. You really want to put that up against Alabama, Auburn?
State team up north.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think it'll work either because you know what? That game is so sacred, and for those two institutions to be solely focused on for one day, I don't agree with it either. I mean, I had two cousins that went to West Point. They went to the games and everything. I think you leave it alone.
I think you leave it alone too. That's just my opinion. But I also don't think that we should have a 2-week layoff in between the conference championship games and the start of the college football playoff either.
No. Like we've been saying, fix the calendar.
Move the calendar up. Move it up 3 weeks in August. Because if you move it up 3 weeks in August, you can possibly get the season done New Year's Day. And if you get it done on New Year's Day, you're not running into the NFL. But I just, I know people don't really give a rat's ass about what we think, but only major consumers of the sport, but whatever. But speaking of the wins at stadiums, Ohio State, I pulled this as well. So here's you back, Rich?
I'm back. Yep.
Okay, so here it is for Ohio State for teams with their last victories within the conference at the Horseshoe. Michigan 2024, last win there. Oregon 2021. I'm sure Buckeye fans want to forget that day.
Yeah.
Michigan State 2015.
Yep.
Penn State 2011. And then USC 2009.
Yeah, that game.
And then when Illinois won Illabuck in 2007.
And then you had Penn State 2008.
That was on the road. It was on the road.
Was it on the road?
Mm-hmm.
I know it was when Tressel was there. Was it 2007?
But the next one
wasn't 2007. It was 2008.
It was on the road, my friend.
It wasn't. It was at Ohio Stadium.
They got 2000. You're gonna have to Google it, but Penn State's most recent win was 2011 at the Horseshoe. But I'll keep going on the list.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wisconsin 2004. Minnesota 2000. When was the last time Iowa won at the Horseshoe?
It's got to be the Belisari years. Like 99.
91.
91.
Purdue's last time they won at Ohio Stadium. 1988 was the last time Purdue won at Ohio Stadium. Indiana's last win,
87.
was 87.
Was
And
that the
then
41-8 shellacking?
yes, and then
Yeah.
UCLA 1980, and then it goes to Northwestern, has a win, their most recent win at the Horseshoe, 1971. Washington 1966. And then there are three teams that have never won at the Horseshoe. That is Maryland, that is Nebraska, and that is Rutgers.
Wow.
So I find that interesting. Also, we're gonna get to the rules committee, and then we'll get ready to close everything out, and we'll get everybody out of here. Excuse me. The NFL Competition Committee is discussing the possibility, I don't know if you've seen this, the possibility of authorizing replay officials to throw flags for specific penalties in the NFL. That is a recipe for disaster.
You're going to make games go like 5 hours long.
Can you imagine all the holding penalties that'll get called? Or PIs?
Every single play.
In the NFL, you can call holding on every play. I don't care.
Yeah. They're going to call it. I mean, they're not going to call it on every single play. I mean, we all know they all do it.
So, which leads me to the college football rules committee is currently discussing they may get rid of the targeting carryover suspension, which I agree with.
Agreed.
I think if you're going to do anything, make them sit the rest of the drive or the quarter. If they get 2, you're done for the half. And if you get 3, you could be done for the next game.
Yeah.
But that would be 3 in one game. So there's kind of that. And then also, they're going to start penalizing for the short shorts.
Good.
I think
they should.
I think that's a good thing as well.
That's a safety issue right there.
Well, not only is it a safety issue, but those guys look absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, it looks terrible. I mean, JB had something with one of the kickers at high heels doing that.
It
looks stupid,
ridiculous.
And
then
this isn't soccer. This is football. This is American football. We'll stop with this shit.
Yeah, and then also a blast from the past. This got put out there when Florida lost to Georgia Southern 26-20. Georgia Southern completed. They had 0 completions to win that ball game. I believe Jim McElwain was the coach for that one. Not to pile on Jim too awful much, but we got some other stuff. I guess we'll go close it out with the best away records the last 10 years. Want to take a stab at who's number 1 on that list?
Alabama.
They're on the list, but they're not number 1.
They're not number 1?
No, Ohio State is 1. They are 30 in the last 10 seasons. Ohio State is 39-6, Georgia 35-6, Alabama 37-9. Oklahoma 31-12, Notre Dame 30-12. James Madison, the criteria had to have at least a minimum of 20 home games at the FBS level, so there's an asterisk next to it. But James Madison 17-7, Boise State 40-18, Michigan 31-15, Penn State 32-17, and Iowa 31-18. Don't see any Big 12 teams on that list.
Huh,
interesting.
I wonder why.
Interesting.
Very, very.
And then I guess I guess we could go with this. Fox put out the winningest championship states. Obviously, California is one because they literally have the most teams.
Florida 2.
Nope, New York is 2. Got the Yankees, remember?
That's true.
Boston is 3. Celtics lead the way for them. Red Sox with 9 World Series. The Boston Bruins 6, and the Patriots with 6 as well. Pennsylvania is number 4, but they've got a pretty good two-sided approach here. And then Illinois is number 5, but if the Bears leave, they could lose their spot. So that's kind of the championship states. The big getters are the Yankees, Lakers, Celtics, in the from each state leaders, and then the Blackhawks for Illinois. They got 6 Stanley Cups. The Bulls got 6 championships. The Cubs, 3 World Series. The White Sox, 3 World Series, but the White Sox are poo as well. And then this got released the other day. Coaches with the most pressure. I got out of the list. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 out of the top 6 on this list from the other day when I put out my guys that are on the hottest seats. So Mike Norvell leads the way. I don't think there's any disagreement there.
No.
Luke Fickell, number 2. Shane Beamer, number 3. But number 4 kind of perplexed me a little bit. Bill O'Brien
at BC.
Yeah, I was shocked by that one. I don't quite get that. Bill O'Brien's completely trying to redo.
Yeah.
He's overhauling a program, and he's in year 2. He let Castellanos go. Obviously, we've seen how that shook out, so I don't think that's a big deal. Have to see what Billy O is this year, but Norvell's buyout estimated, if I think it's like the December 1st thing, it says approximately is $48 million. Fickell 19.2, Beamer 19, Bill O'Brien 18. Mike Loxley must be at the end of his deal because it says his estimated buyout is $7 million. Dave Aranda 6 with $9 million, and then Dabo Sweeney's on this list, which I don't know about that. I don't think Clemson would make an emotional decision to get rid of Dabo. That is he's the most expensive guy on this list. Dabo is.
Really?
Yes, $57 million to get rid of Dabo.
Ooh. Ouch.
So I don't know if there's the 30-day clause in there, kind of like what Billy Napier had. Because some of these coaching contracts, I know Jimmy Sexton puts them in there for his clients, is you got to pay half the buyout within 30 days of parting ways. So I don't know if Dabo's got that in there, but $57 million, that's a big chunk of money. And
that'd be detrimental.
And then Kalen DeBoer's on this list, number 8 on the list, $50 million. And then Bill Belichick, $10 million. Deion Sanders, 26.6. I don't know. I mean, looking at this list, I think if it doesn't improve, I don't know what Florida State's going to do because I think they're strapped for cash.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we find out that they're in the red?
They're in the red, but as the people on TikTok want to say, it's just because we did stadium renovations. So you renovate the stadium, you're not very good. What makes you think people are going to come back? I'm just asking questions. Just asking questions. I think Penn State's in a better Penn State is on a better trajectory than what Florida State is.
Right. Yep.
At the moment. Because Penn State gets Matt Campbell and they have hope in their charging towards something. They have a ton of Iowa State kids come in, so we'll see.
They got something to build on, like you said.
Yeah, they got something to build on. Matt Campbell, obviously, it's going to be more of an interesting transition. James Franklin was at Penn State for years. So I think that, going forward, you got to give Matt Campbell the wait and see, in my opinion. But Dabo, DeBoer, that's a lot of coin between those two guys. The Belichick stuff, I don't know how that is going to shake out. Will they look better? I can't answer that question. Can't answer that one at all.
Yeah, I knew year one wasn't going to be good.
And the Colorado thing, they got a $26 million hole in their budget, and I don't know how that's going to fly, but Dave Aranda and Mike Locksley are more of a digestible figure. But I also will say, not that I'm defending Dave Aranda or Mike Locksley to the teeth on this, and Fickle falls in this too. Out of the three guys, Fickle, Aranda, Locksley, they haven't been given resources.
No.
So
especially with Locksley being at Maryland. And you would think, the founder of Under Armour would be putting everything into that football program. And the guy was a football player. I mean, that's how he came up with the Under Armour brand.
And here's also my thing, because at the end of the year last year, Locksley put it out there that he was saying he had to make decisions on his roster, whether he was going to pay the 3-year guy that helped him get to a bowl game or pay a new freshman that hasn't done anything for him. I mean, those are the decisions that these personnel people are having to make. These are the decisions that these head coaches are making. If it ain't up to the personnel guy, I mean, it's a very fine line here, Rich. In my opinion. So
it's a headache.
Oh yeah, I mean, a major.
It's a big headache. It's a big headache. It's having coaches to sit down with kids on the roster to negotiate quote unquote contracts. Every single kid. I mean, it's
or not with the kids. You have, somebody's relative that thinks that thinks they're worth, $2 million when they're worth $500,000, and you're now having to reason with it, and they're not a certified agent either.
No, they're trying to get their cut.
Oh yeah, and that's what's going on. There's predatory people out there. There's people that are preying upon these kids. It's just they've just moved it a level.
I think every kid, in my opinion, they should institute something mandatory where they need to have a qualified agent, not somebody, no relation, somebody that's just straight up that can negotiate contracts or NIL agreements with these kids.
Right.
Not Uncle Sammy, not Uncle Joey, not and whoever.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's bizarre, to say the least.
Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre. But I think that we're heading to a scary time here, Rich. To be completely honest, that's what we're heading into. And
it kind of makes you wonder if they're going to institute a CBA. And that's going to open the floodgates for other things too, Duke.
I don't know how you wrestle this thing and put a CBA into it, because if you're a big time college player, let's just say Travis Hunter, you don't want a CBA.
No.
You want to get paid as much as possible to where you don't want somebody putting restrictions on how much you can get paid. That's I think one of the bigger issues. But we'll see where this whole thing shakes out and see where we end up at. But outside of that, Rich, I guess we'll cut it off for tonight. It's 9:00.
Oof.
So, you got anything else to add, Rich?
Got nothing else. Nothing that I've come across since last time we met. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, Duke.
All right. So we'll see you Thursday. Is that correct, Rich?
That is correct.
All right. Rich will be back Thursday. Appreciate everybody joining the show, watching. Do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us out a ton. Even though it is the off season, we're have some hoop stuff, some baseball stuff, but we got to get through this off season. It's, I mean, realistically, when you think about it, week 0 is only 6 months and 6 days away. So,
but hey, who's counting?
So, with that being said, we appreciate everybody who tuned in. And yeah, so we appreciate you interacting with the show. If you can do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Phone lines will be open tomorrow. So take care, everybody. Have a good night, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a great night, everybody.